referred to. We do have ethics laws that we adhere to. We're fortunate in Bethlehem that we have not had an ethics problem. Until tonight, no one's ever brought up the concept of additional ethic laws. If there's ethic issues, we'd be more than willing to take a look at those. But at this point, I think that the existing laws serve the community well. As far as transparency in the town government, I can assure everyone in this room that I've done nothing but try to maintain a very transparent government for the town of Bethlehem. If anybody's visited our town website, you will see that there is more information on our website than any other community in the region, and in fact, most communities in the country. We have town board minutes that go back to the 1970s on our website. So that's just one example. Another example, we talked about town meetings. We've had town meetings throughout town. We've had town meetings in North Bethlehem. We've had town meetings in South Bethlehem, at the Grange, at the Becker School. We've had town meetings here. Town board meetings are being held at the town hall, which is the center of our town government, just as the Congress meets in the Capitol in Washington and our assembly meets in the Capitol in New York State. Our town government meets at town hall here. But we do go out to the community on a regular basis. I meet with people in the community all the time, and I don't hear a lot of issues regarding non-transparency in government. I can tell you that most people are very satisfied with the information they get here from town hall. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cunningham. This question is also for you. How will you attract new business to Bethlehem to help lower residential taxes?
That's a great question, too. We've been working very hard over the last 2 years to attract new business into Bethlehem. We've talked a little bit about the downturn of the economy, and that has been a true factor in trying to get some good commercial growth here in town. Last week, we met with the developers of the Vista Technology Park to talk to them about what we as the town government can do in order to spur development in that project. And we come up with some great ideas that we're now working on to try and implement. One of it will be to build that out in smaller phases so that they can put some infrastructure in, get a building up, and start attracting business. The problem with the Vista Technology Park right now is the way it's designed is they need to put $5 million worth of infrastructure into the ground, and they've got no one who's interested in building in Bethlehem currently. And that's a lot of money to put into the ground with no planned return on investment. So that's an issue for them. We're working with them. We're trying to make changes to that project in order to stimulate that project to move forward. Other things that we're doing, we've talked about the Selkirk Yard Industrial Zone. That's a project that I have initiated with our planning department to try and find ways that we can stimulate the commercial growth down in the Selkirk Yard area. That area is zoned commercial or zoned industrial. It has very few residents that would be impacted by commercial growth in there. It has great assets in our Selkirk rail yard, in our power plant that's down there, the cogen plant, and also some industry down there. So we're trying to find ways to encourage commercial growth in that area. I work with the Center for Economic Development to see if there's opportunities coming to the area that we can bring into Bethlehem to develop here. And we're also looking at other opportunities to develop over near the proposed thruway exchange. We have developers that are in over there that want to look at ways that they could encourage some commercial development. So we're talking to developers on a regular basis. There's a lot of interest here, and we'll continue to do that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cunningham. Mr. Cassini.
Thank you, Bill. Let me just rebut on 2 points on Mr. Cunningham's previous statement regarding any changes to the ethics law. That's the sort of thing the supervisor needs to bring up and question and not have brought up to him, in my opinion. And I would review such matters and continually assess how we can do a better job on those important issues. On the matter of Mr. Cotteri doing public relations or press business, when we had an independence debate here, Mr. Cotteri was the person that represented Mr. Cunningham and showed up at the meeting to review ground rules. I don't know what you call that, but that's public relations. That's an involvement of a different sort. On new businesses, my sense on many things in Bethlehem is we've got a lot of things spinning, but nothing's really happening. I ask people, do you know what's going on in town? And they don't, because not enough is targeted, not enough priorities are set, not enough is being done. Mr. Cunningham was at an IDA meeting. I'm on the IDA board, when we asked him what's going on in a couple of major projects, what we got literally was this. Yeah, autonomy, but it takes leadership and drive to work with developers to target something and do it. Fred DiMaggio brings the expertise in economic development that we need. And by the way, he can disagree with me anytime in an open board meeting, and it will not be disagreeable. Current businesses we need to focus on too. The supervisor doesn't mention current businesses much because they're here. They're as important as developing new business. Selkirk Yards, 3 meetings, nothing's happening. As far as I'm concerned, that should have been prioritized, should have been focused. We should have done what is doable, not the whole range of things which didn't get done. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Messina. This next question also goes to you. We have been told for many years about our infrastructure problems, but now it has become a major issue. What could we have done differently so that we would not have to bond and increase our taxes to address them?
Thank you, Bill. 2 years and 3 months ago, when I would say our relationship was more even, I proposed to Jack that with my budget experience and with the need for infrastructure planning being maybe the most critical need in this community, that I lead a small group to put together a plan. After a month or two, this was October 2 years ago, he agreed to that. I was excited about it. We reached out to local government agencies and found out what was being done in the best planning on infrastructure. George Lavelle and I and Judy Keyhole were going to work on that, and the department heads all knew it. Well, we had an organizational meeting, and I didn't support a couple of political appointments. Automatically, Jack took that away from me. When I talked to him about it, he said, we're going to go a different direction. I said, what direction is that? He said, I don't know, but you're not going to do the plan. I said, is this some sort of payback because I didn't support 2 of your appointments, but I supported others? He said, no, if it was payback, you'd never get near a capital plan. End result, it's cost the town huge money. It's cost us a negative audit embarrassment, and the plan is 2 years late. We've got a 22-person committee, and I see no plan in sight. When I say politics of the type I've seen is no good for this town, that's exactly what I mean about putting politics over government and over leadership.
Thank you very much, Mr. Messina.
Good question. Thank you.
We have been told about our infrastructure problems for many years, but now it has become a major issue. What could we have done differently so that we have not had to bond and increase our taxes to address them?
Well, the infrastructure issues that we're dealing with today are a result of many years of deferral. We've let our water plant out in New Scotland deteriorate to a point where the roof was leaking. We've had to close a portion of the plant this year because we've got leaks in the floor. People may recall that we've had issues with old equipment that leaks mercury, not into the water supply, but under the floor in that plant. Our pipes are deteriorating. And all this has to do with going back to some of our earlier discussions in that there was always this desire that we're not going to raise taxes and we're not going to ask the public for anything. We're just going to let this stuff go. And we've reached a point where we can't do that anymore. There's been some discussion about our water tax going up. In fact, our water tax is going down. It's going down or proposed to go down in 2010. The water rate is proposed to be increased. And part of the reason we need to do this is because we need to start rebuilding infrastructure. The EPA has changed their water standards for 2012, which makes our plant out in town of Scotland obsolete. We're going to need to replace that plant. We're going to have to come to the community and ask you to support that project. There is no one else out here that's going to do that. This is our plant, this is our project, and it's our responsibility. It's not me, it's ours. And so these are things that we're now addressing. Another thing we may want to talk, just mention, there's been discussion about paving. And I've talked to our highway superintendent about paving because there's a big discussion about whether you should spend money on paving or not. And one of the things he points out to me is, Look at your water infrastructure.